before we see some New Japan Pro Wrestling here on Access TV. Speaking of tag team titles, we're ready for our main event here on Impact Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Impact Wrestling main event, a return match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. It is set for one fall. Introducing first the challengers, Violent by Design.
This is Violent by Design's contractual rematch for the Impact World Tag Team titles following Under Siege. But let's talk about what's in front of Eric Young come Slammiversary.
It was last week that Eric Young punched his ticket to the main event of Slammiversary, and the Impact World Champion Josh Alexander winning that gauntlet for the gold. He has a goal ahead of him now, and it's all eyes to Slammiversary.
Reach for the sky, Their opponents from Sandy Fort, Delaware. They are the Impact World Tag Team Champions, Mark and Jay Briscoe.
And Under Siege, Mark and Jay became the 15 to have won the ROH and the Impact World Tag Team titles, joining legendary Impact tag teams like the Wolves, Kazarian and Daniels, the Hardys, and the Motor City Machine Guns to have accomplished that feat.
And you know VBD, despite the victory of Eric Young, have not forgotten Under Siege and have their eyes set on reclaiming these tag team championships. It's our main event, titles on the line. And ladies and gentlemen, it's next.
The Briscoes defend the tag team titles against Violent by Design. Next. We are back here on Access TV, and that is what it is all about here in our main event. The Impact World Tag Team titles. The brand new champions, the Briscoes, to defend against the former champions, Violent by Design, following the Briscoes' victory at Under Siege. The curious thing here in this matchup, we talked about it before the break, Ray Wall. Eric Young has to look forward to Slammiversary. He's got to be prepared to face Josh Alexander for the Impact World title. So it's Deaner and Doering representing BBD in this match.
Eric Young has a huge opportunity and has to be ready physically, mentally, for one of the toughest champions in Impact history. And look at this.
This is a wise decision right off the bat. Doering should be starting this match because Doering is yet to be pinned or submitted since returning to Impact back in November of 2020.
And it's a great move considering it was Doering who was the odd man out at Under Siege. So now we get to see maybe a little bit of what would have been.
And here's the thing, I understand the decision by Violent by Design to have Deaner and Young compete at Under Siege. The way the Briscoes, you've said it before, shot out of a cannon, explosion. Having Deaner and Young gave them the faster lineup, but still, Mark and Jay were just the better team that night.
Well, and it shows what a great team BBD is. They're adapting. They saw that strategy did not work on that night, so we're going to switch it up. Now we're going to give you the big man, the beast, Doering. Does not go down.
Oh, if you're the Briscoes, how do you deal with the monster Doering?
The way you do with any big man, you chop him down,
tag
one limb at a time. But it's going to be a tough task when he's backed up by Deaner.
Now Deaner tags into the matchup up against Jay Briscoe. The Briscoes have certainly lit a fire under this tag team division. We've seen the way the competition has really stepped up. We saw the Good Brothers and Taven and Bennett went at it earlier on tonight. The Good Brothers getting a win there in that matchup. The competition's continuing to build. The Briscoes know they're new here. They burst on the scene, won the titles, but there's a huge bullseye on their back. Mark Briscoe legal.
It's one thing to win those championships. It's another to hold on to them. Everybody looking at the Briscoes.
Oh! Beautiful suplex there by Mark Briscoe.
And don't clap just yet, you gotta win.
To retain, kick out by Deaner at 1. Remember, the winner of this matchup very well could be the Impact World Tag Team Champions by the time we get to Slammiversary. 4 weeks from Sunday, June 19th, live on pay-per-view and Fight TV in Nashville, Tennessee for our 20-year anniversary special. Tickets are on sale now at ImpactWrestling.com.
Oh my God.
Jay and Mark, they just work so well together.
There's this wild, somehow controlled chaos of the Briscoes that gets unleashed every time the bell rings.
Perfect synchronicity, and when you look at these two, you might not expect that.
Just because they're wearing the same color pants. It's just the wild nature in which they do everything. It seems uncontrolled, it seems chaotic, but like you said, there's a reason they win titles everywhere they go.
Tag made Mark Briscoe into the matchup. 12-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions and finally added an Impact World Tag Team title to their resume. Eric Young looking on, plenty on his mind. Imagine the power and control Violent by Design could have. They captured the tag titles tonight, and Young wins the world title at Slammiversary.
You thought Violent by Design had control before. It would be off the charts if that happened, but right now the Briscoes making that very difficult.
Right next to us here at ringside, Mark Briscoe floors Deaner with a neck breaker.
Oh no.
Oh, now setting up Deaner. Setting up Deaner. Oh, Doering cuts down Jay Briscoe. Can the Briscoes get back in this? Violent by Design's monster is getting involved with the Impact World Tag titles on the line. We are back. This is our main event here on Impact Wrestling on Access TV. The Impact World Tag Team titles at stake. The Briscoes defending against Violent by Design. Joe Doering, the monster representing BBD, against Jay Briscoe.
And his partner Deaner on the apron as that ricochet elbow collapses on the chest.
Power slam elbow combo, kick out. Cannot grab the titles.
And earlier in this matchup, we were questioning what it would take to keep Joe Doering, to chop him down, but instead it was the Briscoes seemed to be trying to keep Doering out of the match altogether, knocking him off the apron, keeping him separate from his team. But to no avail as the big man made his presence known, leading to the situation we're in right now.
Deaner's legal to win back the titles, and a kick out. Violent by Design trying to win their third Impact World Tag Team titles, of course, utilizing the Freebird rule. That's why Deaner and Doering in here tonight. There's Eric Young on the outside while the official was dealing with Deaner.
That right there is like the ultimate Freebird rule. When you see an open shot, your third man can take it.
And that third man, Eric Young, is not just the third man. He is the #1 contender for the Impact World Championship come Slammiversary. It'll be Young versus the champion, Josh Alexander, by the time we get to Nashville.
How appropriate. Eric Young, such an integral part of the history, the 20-year history of Impact Wrestling. Won almost every championship this company has to offer as Deaner goes to line up Jay Briscoe, compacting the spine.
The rage inside Deaner. Following Under Siege was a part of the team that night. Lost the tag team titles. It was a tactical decision by Violent by Design, and now the Briscoes have stormed the castle, so to speak, here in Impact Wrestling. Violent by Design believe this is their world. Losing the tag titles meant losing a modicum of power, losing control. Now the Briscoes, Jay Briscoe trying to get out of the corner. The Briscoes make a tag.
And in comes Mark Briscoe like a house on fire, ping-ponging back and forth.
Oh man, tied up here with the monster. Mark Briscoe loves these 2-on-1 situations. Likes to be backed into a corner and fighting his way out.
Big man Joe Doering sent to the floor.
Oh, over the top line of Doering. Doering's down. This is a critical chance for the Briscoes.
Deaner trying to fight off Mark Briscoe, who keeps the train rolling.
And now to the top turnbuckle. Oh! Big open palm strike by Mark Briscoe. the top to retain the titles. Kick out by Deaner.
Look at the eyes of Mark Briscoe. There's a mania in there that you don't see too often, and if you do, it's probably in the eyes of the people in Violent by Design.
Now Mark Briscoe sent into the corner, out to the apron. Deaner back up to his feet. On there's Joe Doering. Oh, and Doering runs into Jay Briscoe this side.
Took a swipe at Mark as Mark comes off the top, overhand chop, knocks Deaner for a loop.
And now look at Mark Briscoe. Got a hold of Deaner. Double team, neckbreaker, power bomb. Oh, and a kick out by Deaner.
Deaner digs down deep. This is what the Tag Team Championships mean to these two teams.
Oh! On the outside here, it's Mark Briscoe. Oh, and Joe Doering just sent Mark Briscoe into the steel post inside the ring. Thinking about the Spike J Driller was Jay Briscoe. Oh. Oh, and Deaner floors Jay Briscoe.
Meanwhile, Mark Briscoe is literally on the floor.
Tag.
So we are in a 2-on-1 scenario. Very good position for Violent by Design.
And this is worst case scenario for the Briscoes because Doering's the legal man. Oh man, what a spine buster by the 300-plus pounder to win the titles back in a kick out.
The way Doering just slammed Jay Briscoe down and collapsed on top of him immediately into the cover here.
Tag made. Deaner's legal. Jay Briscoe dumps. Deaner off the top of the diving headbutt. Could this be it for VBD? To win back the titles, Mark Briscoe saves his brother.
Almost had to drive right through Doering to make it, but he did make it indeed.
Saving the titles in the process. Doering runs through Mark Briscoe.
Just when you think you've got Doering down, the tree just does not fall.
Oh, Doering still standing, and Jay takes down Doering. Huge opportunity now for the Briscoes.
Also for Violent by Design with Deaner here.
One of the Deaner DDT. Now look at Jay Briscoe with a rolling elbow.
Perfectly lined up on the chin of Deaner there.
Jay Briscoe trying to control Deaner.
Looking for the doomsday device. This is how they won the championships. Could we see history repeat?
Oh, look at Doering. Doering trying to slow this down. Trying to prevent the Briscoes from hitting the doomsday device. Now a cover, cover, cover. Oh, and the Briscoes retain. Oh, now Eric Young in there. Young is furious.
Violent by Design thought they had the doomsday countered. It was Jay Briscoe who rolled back into a roll-up position, getting the 1-2-3. But BBD is not going to let it end that way.
Wait a minute. Young's opponent comes Slammiversary, the Impact World Champion, Josh Alexander. Alexander clears out Deaner and Doering. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and Deaner from behind, attacking Josh Alexander.
After a moment where we saw the future flashing before us, and now the Briscoes getting involved to even the score.
Young sent out of the ring. There goes Deaner. The Briscoes backing up Josh Alexander.
after it was Alexander who backed up the Briscoes.
Tonight, the Briscoes, outgunned, violent by design, and retain the Impact World Tag Team titles. But this is just beginning between Young and Alexander.
And it all leads to Slammiversary, the 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling, the World Championship on the line, Walking Weapon, and Eric Young.